Dear viewers, I'm Zahirul Alam. Welcome you all on Frankly Speaking. Our today's guest is Mr. Chris Atkinson, President of Southeast Asia at Microsoft. Dear viewers, you know Microsoft is the largest contributor in the high-tech industry in the world, which founded in 1975. You know the chairman and the chief software architect of Microsoft is Bill Gates. Microsoft is the leader in software, services and solutions that help people and businesses realize their full potential. Mr. Chris Atkinson, President of Southeast Asia at Microsoft, leading the overall business strategy and development of one of the Microsoft fastest growing regions. Welcome, Mr. Chris Atkinson on Frankly Speaking.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Chris, tell us about something about your purpose of your visit.
Oh, the purpose of my visit. We opened a subsidiary here about 2 years ago, and we really were excited about the potential in the Bangladesh market. So I just recently took over as president of Microsoft Southeast Asia, so I really wanted to take the opportunity to come to Bangladesh. It's my first visit, so really it's an opportunity to meet the team and really to learn about Bangladesh, experience the people. I've had a great opportunity to meet with customers and partners, and I've really enjoyed my trip. It's just been a short trip this time, but it will certainly not be my last.
So what will be your main thirst in terms of expansion of your business?
Well, I think that Microsoft's focus in Bangladesh is really about three things. Firstly, it's about delivering great business value to our customers. We've got a great range of products. Many people I'm sure are familiar with Windows and Office. It's about delivering business value to our customers. But we believe that information technology can really have a positive economic impact on Bangladesh. We think that Bangladesh is a country with lots of young people. It has smart, skilled people, and we think that in an increasingly competitive world, the role of information technology is vital to a country's future competitive edge. And we are convinced that the role of software and the role of technology can really help to improve the economic potential of Bangladesh. In addition to that, you know, the original vision of Microsoft was a PC on every desk and in every home. And as you're well aware, in Bangladesh, very few people have access to personal computing technology today. So one of the big focuses for us is to explore ways, whether it's rural kiosks or mobile phones or whatever, of bridging the digital divide and enabling more people in Bangladesh to experience information technology, to open their minds to new opportunities, to explore the internet and to find new ways of doing things more productively using information technology.
So do you believe that the young generations in Bangladesh, which can be really made competitive in the information age of technology?
Well, I think we're in a world. Thomas Friedman wrote a very famous book just recently called The World is Flat. And in The World is Flat, he says, there are no borders anymore. Everybody can communicate with everybody else. Everybody can connect with everybody else. Every country can trade with everybody else. I think young people feel very much part of the culture in their country, but they also recognize cultures and opportunities abroad. And I think that the internet really gives a tremendous opportunity for young people to connect with the world, to see and feel experiences beyond what they can experience where they live in their own town or their own village or their own group. So I think that young people around the world are thirsty for information. I think they're thirsty for knowledge, and they're curious. Young people are curious. They want to know what's going on in the world. They want to see what opportunities there are for them, and information technology and access to the internet can help them to see that.
So you say the potential of knowledge economy, expanding of knowledge economy in Bangladesh is just about to embark on the world market.
I think so. I think that every country in the world is really now recognizing that the investment in information technology and access to the internet, high-powered networks, mobile phones, etc., can have a disproportional impact on the overall growth and economic development of a country. I think at the individual level, if you're using a mobile phone or you're using a computer, your life's richer. You know, if you're working in an organization or a company that really utilizes technology, it gets richer. At a country level, if you really explore and exploit the opportunities provided with information technology, the country gets richer.
Chris, one question. The Bangladesh, you know, Bangla is a mother tongue of 140 million people, which is quite different from the Bengali spoken in the West Bengal of India. So what is Microsoft is doing to give Bangla its due respect by including support for its language in your MS software?
Well, we think that a language is a vital and vibrant part of every culture. And we believe that every country should have the opportunity to experience and to interact with computers in their own language. For years, hundreds of years, people have written with paper and pen. In the 21st century, people are increasingly typing on keyboards and looking at computers. But those computers don't support the Bangla language that everybody in Bangladesh speaks. So one of the things we're very excited is a partnership with BRAC University and the government's council to really implement a definitive version of Bangla on Windows. And we've announced that a little while ago, and we'll be bringing it out with our new version of Windows, Windows Vista. Now, we think this is very exciting because many millions of people who speak Bangla and don't speak English will now have the opportunity to interact and to use computers in their native language and their native tongue. And I think it's very important that the version of Bangla that people in Bangladesh use is the precise and the specific version of Bangla that's native to Bangladesh and not something that's been imported from India. So we're very, I know you're very proud of the language, and we're very proud to be able to bring your language to Windows. Every language lives, it changes, it evolves, the words change, new slang words come in, etc. And we will evolve the dictionary with time so that the Bangla version of Windows will always reflect the latest state of the Bangla language in Bangladesh.
So we know that the Microsoft has many projects, special projects for the developing nations in software developments, in some software in local languages. So do you have any such programs in Bangladesh, or do you have any plan to project like any special programs for Bangladesh in the coming future? Well,
I think one of the things that we really want to focus on is increasing access to information technology. I think we believe that people who have access to information technology and access to the internet, it gives them opportunities that they wouldn't otherwise have. And we want more people to have opportunities. So, if you think of any country, think of Bangladesh as a pyramid. At the top of the pyramid, you've got a lot of people who are wealthy and they can afford to buy computers and use information technology. As you get down the pyramid to the mass of people, there's a lot of people who just can't afford access to information technology. So we're really looking at ways of providing information technology to those people. Some examples that we've been working on are things like rural kiosks. If you're in a rural village, you can't afford a PC each. Yep. But maybe you could afford a PC for the village, maybe an internet kiosk where people, on a shared basis would come along and access maybe government services, apply for microloans, maybe check the weather out in a distant town, check the prices of the crops that they're going to sell, or even just browse the internet for fun or play a game. So I think we're looking at ways of creating sort of shared community centres or rural kiosks that bring first experience of technology. The other thing we're looking at is mobile phones. We have pilots and prototypes about extending mobile phones, because today a mobile phone has the processing power of a personal computer only a few years ago. Imagine in a couple of years' time you can take a mobile phone, it's a great mobile phone, you plug it into a little cradle, you connect it to the internet, you plug it into the back of your TV, and you put a small keyboard in front of it. It's a computer device. It's a mobile phone that also enables you to browse the internet, type letters, emails, look at your Hotmail account, etc. You can do that. And that would bring richer computing capacity and computing opportunities to millions of mobile phone users. The other area that we're looking at is education, because the most important investment that any country can make in the long-term future is education. So a very important program we also have is what we call Partners in Learning, where we really train, and we've worked with several thousand teachers in Bangladesh, training teachers how to use information technology in teaching children. Because children who have access, and we appreciate today that very few children have access to personal computers in schools, but it will develop over time. It's really helping teachers to be comfortable and familiar with information technology so that they can actually use information technology to teach the next generation of Bangladeshis to feel more comfortable with it and to use it for exploring and learning.
Our guest is Mr. Chris Atkinson. Mr. Chris, we are talking about the potentiality of Bangladesh market in terms of information technology. So, do you really believe that the Bangladesh has got a huge, immense potential market in terms of information technology?
Well, I think that Bangladesh is a populous country. It has a lot of young people. They're bright, smart and intelligent. They're as bright and they're as smart and they're as intelligent as any other country in the world. So I think Bangladesh has as much opportunity to play in the information technology world as any other country in the world. I think there are some key factors that need to come into place, though, to really enable this transformation. First, we have to see a really big reduction in telecommunications costs. Now, you just think today how many people in Bangladesh use mobile phones and have access to the internet compared with 5 years ago. We've seen a dramatic increase, but we need to see an even bigger and more dramatic increase with more telecommunications providers, more competition, improved service and lower prices. Then I think we need to have affordable mobile phones and affordable PCs so that millions more people over a period of time have access to the devices that allow them to communicate with each other and access the internet. Then once you've got cheap telecommunications infrastructure and a very broad utilization of mobile phones and PCs, it's all about content. It's all about developing the rich applications, business applications, entertainment, communication systems, trading systems that will essentially enable Bangladesh to build a new generation of exciting content. But there's a very important aspect that needs to also come in, which is the respect for intellectual property. Because without respect for intellectual property, no one will actually pay for those applications. If no one pays for the applications, no one will build them. So without the respect for intellectual property, no one will build the applications.
So are you concerned about the high rate of piracy in the countries like Bangladesh?
Yeah, I think Bangladesh should be concerned about it. The universities in Bangladesh are very focused on delivering high-quality students with great expertise in information and communications technology. And that's vital for the future competitiveness of Bangladesh. But if no one values software and no one pays for it, there's no software industry. So where do they work? There's no jobs for them. If there's no jobs for them, you'll see less IT professionals, and that will not be good for Bangladesh. So I think that, developing countries around the world still recognize that, poor as they are, investing in building a software economy has a disproportionately positive impact on the GDP development and the overall competitive advantage of the country. So I think that Bangladesh can't afford to continue with a high piracy rate because I think it will really hold back the development of the information technology revolution in the country.
So what Microsoft will do to prevent against the piracy in Bangladesh?
Really, there's nothing we can do. I think it really is the responsibility of government. Piracy reduces in other countries. Investment in the IT economy increases. We did one calculation for a government in Southeast Asia. A 10% reduction in piracy increases the size of the IT economy by 3 times. It increases tax revenue by 5 times and increases the number of jobs by 12 times. That's the impact that a significant reduction in piracy can lead to.
So what will be the Microsoft's role in enhancing the or developing the skill of the workforce in Bangladesh so that the Bangladeshi young generations, new IT generations can compete in the world market, not only in the world market, but also to meet the challenge of the unemployment situation in Bangladesh?
Yeah, I think that I spoke a little bit earlier about piracy, and I think there's a lot that the government can do through a framework of intellectual property respect to create the right environment for the software industry to grow and flourish. And then through our partnership with leading universities in the country, we've got very good relations with a number of the public and private universities throughout the country. In fact, just today I had lunch with a number of distinguished professors and academics to talk about this very subject. And we want to really help the Bangladesh universities to ensure that when computer science students graduate, they don't graduate with obsolete technologies. They graduate with fresh, new, shiny skills for the latest and greatest technology. So we are absolutely committed to partnership with the universities to ensure that the curriculum and the technology that those students come out of university with is absolutely up to date and reflective of the latest and greatest of information technology, because that's the generation that need to be excited about the potential, because that's the generation that will essentially see the potential of information and technology and can make it flourish. And they need to have skills that are ready for the future and not skills of the past.
Chris, I know you have some social programs in Bangladesh, like in education sector, and some is in Sylhet region. So can you explain us what you really want to do in the social sectors?
I think our belief is that it's very important in developing countries that we increase access to information technology. So the social programs, I think, three areas. I think one is with teachers, because teachers are teaching the next generation. Now, if the teachers teaching the next generation don't know anything about information technology, don't have any thought as to how to use it when teaching, they will not pass on they will not encourage. And you'll have a strange environment. Sometimes you'll have students who actually use information technology outside the classroom. It's amazing. Think about the way children use information technology today, the stuff they do with it. Then they walk into the classroom, and the classroom is just the same as it was 100 years ago. The classroom is just the same as it was 200 years ago. We want to make classrooms 21st century, where the type of technology and the excitement and the way that you use information technology in the learning experience, you'd walk into the classroom and you say, this is actually a 21st century classroom. The teacher understands about 21st century technology, and they're having a conversation with the students about how you use it. Today there's too much of a gap. And our Partners in Learning program is really about training teachers, and I think really helping to get teachers enthusiastic about the potential of information technology in teaching. But it's no good just doing that. You've got to give access to the students when they're away from the classroom. And that's why, again, I mentioned earlier on the rural kiosks and the internet cafes and the social centres become so important to provide opportunities for people to actually meet and touch and feel the internet.
Chris, before ending up, just briefly tell us about something, the success of Bill Gates, the secret of success of Bill Gates. Tell us something about him.
Passion. I think the success of Bill Gates, there's no doubt about it, he's an incredibly smart guy. But, I've had the opportunity to meet with Bill and to interact with Bill on a number of occasions. One of the things that Bill, it's passion. His original passion was a PC on every desk and in every home. And it seemed like a wild dream. It seemed crazy. Imagine 30 years ago, a PC on every desk and every home. Now in the developed world, that's not a dream anymore, it's a reality. The challenge now is to make it a reality in the developing world. But passion is it. And I think passion, great teamwork, assembling a great team, working with the industry, I think has helped him to accomplish a lot. And the exciting thing with Bill now, with his foundation work, is that I think, he's announced his intention to retire from Microsoft in a couple of years' time to really...
In 2008, I
Yeah,
think.
That's right, to really focus on the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And, the great thing is he earned a lot of money through the passion he did in Microsoft. And the exciting thing now is he's going to use that to basically improve the health and the well-being of millions and millions of people around the world in some of the most poorest countries in the world. So I think that will be his legacy, a legacy of passion for technology and software, and I think a legacy of passion for helping improve the life and the health and the wealth of millions of the world's poorest people.
Dear viewers, Microsoft is committed, as Chris opined, to being a responsible industry partner, working with business, communities and government to help advance social and economic well-being and to enable people around the world, including Bangladesh, to realize their full potential. Chris said, Microsoft's commitment and responsibilities as a global corporate citizen are grounded in their company mission and values manifested through their business practices and operations and carried out by thousands of Microsoft employees and suppliers worldwide. Thank you very much, Chris Atkinson, on joining us.
Thank you very much. I've enjoyed our discussion.
Dear viewers, we thank you indeed and see you on next episode. Till then, bye-bye.